So tariffs are a hot topic right now. And so today we're going to talk about kind of the history of tariffs because they've been around for a long time. We're going to talk about the possible negative impacts of tariffs and also potentially the positive impacts of tariffs. So definitely stay tuned as we dive into what do tariffs mean to you.
It's time for another Your Retirement Elevated episode. Walter Storholt alongside Scott Dugan, financial advisor at Elevated Retirement Group. And as Scott mentioned, today we're talking about tariffs. And the funny thing about tariffs, Scott, is it's like the easiest thing to understand and then also like a really complex thing to understand, all the nuances and the impacts and the back end and how they can get used. And so, I don't know, I think it can be a very confusing topic. But as you mentioned, it's certainly been in the news here at the beginning of 2025 over the first several weeks of the year.
Absolutely. And so I thought we'd start off with, hey, what is a tariff?
Yeah.
Anyway, so like the kind of the Wikipedia starting point of this.
Yes.
So I've got all my notes for today. So if I'm looking down, because I want to make sure I get everything right.
Right.
I don't have everything memorized, but yeah, because I do believe that, the media has been positioning this to get viewership and to get clicks and to get likes because that's their job. Their job is to take, an hour's worth of news and stretch it over 24 hours in today's world. Right. But tariffs, it is a big deal, and I'm not, minimizing that at all. But really, a tariff is a government-imposed tax on imported goods from other countries. That's what a tariff is. And again, that's used to either raise revenue, protect domestic industries, or exert political leverage over another country. And I think as we're seeing this unfold, we're in the probably halfway through in this airs, halfway through a 30-day pause on tariffs.
Right.
So this was used, it appears to be as a leverage tactic. Because once it was announced they were happening, within 48 hours.
It was pretty quick.
We've announced, hey, we had a great conversation and we're going to work together and we're not going to do this for 30 days. So that's where we are. And so we're probably 2 to 3 weeks into that 30-day pause. And so hopefully we get some things ironed out. They're going to be beneficial across the board because, hey, we are a global economy. And I think this seems to be a negotiating tactic to balance out, get a little more equilibrium on the trade deficits that are out there. So that is what is a tariff. If you want more information, just load it into Google and you can see tons of information about that.
You can start developing your own opinions about it, of course. And I know the concern is that this is a bad economic move for us to do these things. But this is where that gets complicated because if you're not expecting it to ever actually go into place, but you're using it as the negotiation tactic, it's like there's a whole nother purpose for why you do the thing. And the other thing is like, this is not new, Scott. Like tariffs have been around for a long time.
No, and that's what in the getting prepared for this, President George Washington signed the first tariff into law in 1789.
So we've been through a few of these.
This is not new. And at that time was a 5% flat rate on all imported goods in response to the trade imbalance with England. Okay. So it's been around a long time. If you look at on Trump's first presidency, he had tariffs on China and on Mexico. Now he lifted the tariffs on Mexico and the tariffs stayed intact during his presidency and they stayed intact through the Biden administration.
So both sides of the aisle have used tariffs to their advantage
throughout history, and they just use it in different ways. Right now, again, it's more of, I'm not saying right or wrong, it is a leverage piece that we're using to get people to the table is what it appears at the time of recording this. That's what it appears to be.
Yeah. Again, a disclaimer, this could change by the time we're taping this and you're watching it. Something could have changed in the world that might upset some of these takeaways a little bit. But so take everything with that understanding. So what are the downstream implications to the economy? That's always the worry, right? What is the tariff going to do to the economy? And I guess it can do a lot of different things, and that's what's hard to pinpoint.
Right. So if we're imposing a large tariff on, a country that's importing goods. So they're exporting goods from their country and we're importing them.
Okay.
Well, if they have to pay a higher price to get them here, well, the end consumer feels that. So they're the end result. They feel those things. They'll probably pass it on to the consumer.
Right. They're not just going to absorb a 25%
No.
hit. Since that was the number talked about, they're going to then raise the prices accordingly to hit the consumer.
Right. And then we have to worry about, is there an inflationary pressure at that point? Because if we're passing on, if goods and services, or goods especially, are more expensive, pass on the end user, does that slow things down? Are we buying less because our dollar doesn't go as far if we've got to pay 25% more for something?
Which, given the last few years that we've already been through that environment, is concerning.
It is, and we're hoping. It doesn't matter who's in control. We always hope that people end up doing the right thing, for the right reason. And I don't have any control over that. You don't have any control over it. I can exert control on my daily life.
Right.
We give good advice to our friends, family, and clients. But again, that's what I hope for that, no matter who is in political power, to be able to do, doing the right thing.
Yep, good points. And so it's not all bad news. Like, tariffs can have some positives. You mentioned them kind of near the start a little bit, but trying to combat foreign competition or protect homegrown companies, those kinds of things. So there are some benefits that can come from even these unfortunate disputes and these negotiations.
Absolutely. And I think if we back up just one, because there are positive things, but why are they levying the tariffs they're levying, or saying they are going to? Because right now, Canada is the U.S. biggest provider of crude oil.
Oh, yeah.
And so we import a lot of crude oil. Now they said, hey, we're going to retaliate, but now we're back to the drawing table, and we're probably going to work together. Mexico is the U.S.'s biggest trade partner in terms of imports. Obviously, we've got a very strong automotive industry that goes back and forth there. But again, at the time of this recording, I believe they use that pressure or two things: tariffs. But what have they agreed upon right now? Canada has helped stop, and they're putting troops on the northern border. Mexico is supposedly putting troops on the southern border. This is revolving around, basically people coming to the U.S. in both borders. And I know Canada, I just read, they are promoting a fentanyl czar, a drug czar, basically. And Mexico, same thing, that they are saying they're committed to bringing down the flow of fentanyl and other illicit drugs into the United States. So it seems to be they threw out the tariffs, and they came to the table, and immediately they said, hey, we'll do this. And we'll actually, in Mexico's case, we'll start to receive some people from their country that are here. So again, that's where we are today because of the tariffs. But from a positive thing, can definitely protect domestic industries. And if you notice that as soon as the tariffs were starting to being talked about, that there were commitments for investments in the United States. And so a lot of foreign entities have announced that they're coming into and committing cash to the U.S., and it's mostly around production of goods and services, manufacturing. I know yesterday, actually this morning, there was talks of they're exploring basically a sovereign fund for the United States. And so other countries have sovereign wealth funds. They invest in infrastructure. So an example that they put out there today, in the next 12 months, will they have a fund that's the United States government can participate in certain things? So example, like the TikTok situation where they're saying, hey, can't be owned by China. If we did have a sovereign wealth fund, the U.S. government, for the benefit of the people, could be a part owner of that because of the money in there. So again, a lot going on right now. We wanted to touch on the tariffs. Ultimately, I believe it's a leverage tactic to get people to the bargaining table to negotiate better terms across the board.
Both economic and social, as you were describing with kind of
Correct.
the border, security and those things. Yeah.
Correct. And so again, that's what's being reported. And so that's what we're giving to you. And the reason usually I don't talk a lot about, current events.
Yeah.
But again, it's one of those things we're getting so many questions coming in either through, listener questions or, seeing our clients. Thought, hey, let's give a little primer of what it is. More importantly, if we see progress or if we're seeing it, positive or negative, we may do another episode on it. But again, just wanted to make sure that, with that, we don't know anything now. And so we don't need to make any emotional knee-jerk reactions. There are not enough facts and data on the table to make changes to your plan based on this. Now, what do we know? Probably in the short term, are we going to see volatility? Probably. But that's normal after a very long run in the markets. And so things are going to up and down. That's a natural progression of the markets. We'll keep our eye on that. And if we do feel like at some point, do we need to make adjustments, as on the protective side, or do we need to make adjustments because there's more opportunity? That's what we're looking at right now. That's what we'll continue to do. And that's what our clients pay us to do, is navigate the road ahead. They do not hire us to be political. They hire us to navigate the rules, regulations, and the opportunities that are out there when it comes to their finances. And that's what our team is committed to do. And that's what we're digging into on a daily basis, trying to stay up to date and delivering that information distilled to you so to make sure you can make better decisions that are truly in your best interest.
Is your retirement journey truly tailored to your needs? In his book, Exceptional Retirement: Tools and Strategies for Retiring on Your Own Terms, Scott Dugan addresses the crucial questions all retirees ask. Discover the power of a clear financial decision-making process that can prevent major retirement mistakes and unlock exceptional opportunities. In the book, Scott outlines 4 essential questions that guide retirees toward successful outcomes. Don't miss out on key insights that could define your future. Available now on Amazon. Click the link in the description of this episode to get your copy of Exceptional Retirement.
It to me seems like this is going to be bigger than tariffs. There are going to be a lot of things. We've already seen it. There's a lot of things going to be happening over the coming months. Try not to overreact to any one thing from a financial perspective and, go sell the farm. Let's make sure we're making wise choices, absorbing the news, giving it 48 hours to play out to see actually what was the motivation behind it, what truly was the result versus what everyone thought the result might be. So all sorts of good lessons built in there.
Yeah. Now time to be calm and it's difficult. And I told this to some clients yesterday. I said, clients that I have on one particular side that are exuberant.
Yeah, it's tough for either to be calm, right?
Yeah, I would say temper the exuberance and excitement.
Yep.
And the people that are totally gloom and doom, I would say the same thing, because somewhere in between is the truth. And again, I've been through a handful of administrations over my time.
Yeah.
And the thing you always have to be careful, and you've heard this on the show before, human psychology has not changed a lot in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the speed at which we get information has changed dramatically. And I think we're trying to catch up to the just deluge of information because it's right here. It's either here or on the phone or on a computer. We're just not used to having this amount of information thrown at us on a consistent basis. And so I think we got to filter it down, have a good process to filter, decide, hey, does this really apply to me or not? And again, make decisions based on facts and logic, not emotions. That's not a good place to be in. And that's where we're coming in and saying, most of what we're doing right now is getting people to be rational, either because of excitement or, gloom and doom. Chill out, relax. It will be fine. And again, anytime that this thought creeps in your mind, Yes, but this time it's different. It's
resist that.
I would say take a deep breath, and I think you said it perfectly. Wait 24 hours, wait 48 hours, and absorb it, and then make decisions after that. Because again, if there's something that's immediate, we're going to talk through that. We're going to give you those recommendations. But right now, we're waiting to see how the dust settles and see what's the path forward. Let's chart that course when we know more.
Sometimes it's helpful to have that third voice helping you, that third party voice helping you navigate these issues. That's what Scott does so often for his clients, an ability to be a bit impartial, be that third party to step in and say, let's step back, look at the facts. How is this impacting you? What can we control? What can't we control? How is this affecting our individual plan? Okay, now let's make informed decisions rather than the emotional decisions.
Right.
And so if you need that kind of planning, you can always reach out to Scott and the team at Elevated Retirement Group. They're based out of the Kansas City area, but they help clients all across the country. You can get in touch by going to listentoscott.com. We've got other contact information in the description of today's show, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcasting app. Just go to listentoscott.com or contact one of those other methods as well. And you can set up a time to meet, ask your financial questions, go through the planning process all the way through if you'd like as well with Scott and the team. Scott, thanks for the help navigating a tough issue. I'm sure it's not the last time we'll be talking about something that's a bit hard to wrap your arms around this year with all the changes that are happening, and we'll be leaning on you for some help and guidance through those moments.
It's going to be an exciting time for sure, no matter what.
All right, my friend, thank you so much. We'll see everybody next time right back here on Your Retirement Elevated.
This video has been prepared for educational and marketing purposes only. The information in this video is general in nature, does not constitute personalized investment advice, and does not provide a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. All investments involve risk, and different types of investments involve varying degrees of risk. There can be no assurance that any specific investment strategy will be profitable or suitable to you. Additionally, although information presented in this video is believed to be factual and up to date, we do not guarantee its accuracy. You should consult an attorney or tax professional regarding your specific legal or tax situation and should consult a professional advisor before implementing any of the strategies mentioned in this video. Investment advisory services are offered through Elevated Capital Advisors LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor affiliated with Elevated Retirement Group LLC. Registration as an investment advisor does not constitute an endorsement of Elevated Capital Advisors LLC by securities regulators, nor does it indicate that the firm has attained a particular level of skill or ability. Insurance advice and products may be offered by a third-party insurance producer, which may be affiliated with Elevated Retirement Group LLC and Elevated Capital Advisors LLC. Walter Storholt and Third Wheel Media LLC receive compensation for their assistance in preparing and hosting this video.